Optimizing Query Plans, Part 1. Introduction. The Optimizing Query Plans module provides you with the instructions and devices to develop your hands-on skills in the following topics: working with SQL Server Profiler, 2. Working with Query Store, 3. Working with extended events. Exercise 1. Working with SQL Server Profiler. The SQL Server database engine delivers a collection of data and events which is known as trace. SQL Server Profiler is a graphical user interface that you can use to create and manage traces. You can save the data and events in a trace file that can be used for troubleshooting database problems arising out of slow-running queries or inefficient stored procedure. In this query, you will learn to work with SQL Server Profiler. Task 1. Capture and display the actual execution plan. The Query Optimizer determines the most efficient way of executing the Transact SQL queries. The result given by the Query Optimizer is considered as the execution plan. Database administrator can use the execution plan to identify the performance of the queries and troubleshoot poorly performing queries. In this task, you will create the trace file using SQL Server Profiler that includes selected events and event columns to be reviewed. The trace file will capture and display the actual execution plan of the Transact SQL queries. Step 1. Ensure you have powered on the required devices and connect to Flab SQL 1. We already connected. Step 2. From the Flab SQL 1 desktop, click Start and click Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. The Connect to Server dialog box appears. From the Server Type drop-down list, click Database Engine. In the Server Name text box, type Flab SQL 1, then click Connect. Step 3. The SQL Server Management Studio window opens. In the Object Explorer, click to expand the databases. Step 4. To select the database from the list of databases, click AdventureWorks DW2016. Then create a new query. Step 5. The new query pane opens. Step 6. To open SQL Server Profiler, click the Tools menu and click SQL Server Profiler. Tools. Step 7. SQL Server Profiler window opens. Connect to Server dialog box appears. Keep the default settings, then click Connect. Step 8. Trace Properties dialog box appears. In the Trace Name box, type Capture Plan. Then click to Save File. Save to File. For desktop. The Save As dialog box appears. In the left pane, navigate to Local Disk C. User this folder, then click Save. Note the SQL Server Profiler trace file is saved with an extension of .trc. Step 10. In the Trace Property dialog box, click the Event Selection tab, then click the Show All Events checkbox. Show all events. Step 11. Click to expand the Performance node under Events column. Performance. Go. Step 12. Scroll down the dialog box until you locate Show Plan XML under Events. Show Plan XML. Then click Run to start the trace process. Note the Show Plan XML event class stores each event in the form of an accurate XML document. Step 13. SQL Server Profiler window opens. Notice that the status bar of the window that indicates trace is running. Step 14. On the taskbar, click Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio icon. To create a new query from the query ribbon, click New Query. Then type the following query in the New Query pane. Just copy it, then paste it here. This query creates a left outer join between dim customer and fax survey response tables based on the common field customer key. The respective columns selected are displayed as the output. To execute the query, click Execute or press F5. The query runs successfully and the result set is displayed. Step 15. On the taskbar, click the SQL Server Profiler icon. Notice that the trace is running in SQL Server Profiler window. Scroll down the window until you locate Showplan XML under the event class. Okay. Scroll the window horizontally from left to right to view the other columns such as CPU reads, writes, and duration for the Showplan XML event. Okay. Go. Notice the values in each column. Step 17. To stop the trace, click the File menu and click Stop Trace. File. Then Stop Trace. Minimize all the windows. To open the saved trace file on the desktop, double click Capture Plan. Let's minimize it first. Minimize. Go for Capture Plan. Double click Capture Plan. Capture Plan files in the window open. Under the event class column, click Showplan XML. Showplan XML. The actual execution plan from the trace is captured and displayed. Is it? Close SQL Server Profiler windows. Next. Exercise 2. Working with Query Store. SQL Server Query Store features helps in diagnosing and troubleshooting query performance related issues. Query Store can hold multiple execution plans for a single query. You can use the Query Store feature to perform the following tasks. 1. Audit the query history. 2. Analyze the usage of resources such as memory, CPU, and input or output for the database. 3. Determine the usage of memory and CPU time by the transact SQL queries. 4. Monitor the database performance. In this exercise, you will enable the Query Store feature and learn about the different types of Query Store views. Task 1. Enable Query Store. There are 4 types of Query Store views such as regress queries, top resource consuming queries, track queries, and overall resource consumption. Each type of view is used in specific scenarios. In this task, you will enable the Query Store feature in AdventureWorks DW TP3 database and work with the different types of Query Store views. Step 1. On the taskbar, click Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio icon. Connect. Then is the default new query, and type the following query in the new query pane. Copy and paste it. This query enables the Query Store feature in selected database. Step 2. To execute the query, click Execute or press F5. The query runs successfully and the result set is displayed. Close the query window without saving the query. Close the query window without saving. Step 3. In the Object Explorer, right-click AdventureWorks CTP3 and click Properties from the context menu. Step 4. Database Properties AdventureWorks DW 2016 CTP3 window opens. In the left pane under Select Page, click Query Store. Read and review the information given in the right pane. .4 GB. Okay. Then click OK to close the window. Okay. Step 5. To refresh the database in the Object Explorer, click the refresh icon. Okay, under AdventureWorks, the DW 2016 CTP3 Query Store is displayed. Okay. Click to expand. Step 6. Click to expand Query Store. Then right-click Regress Queries. A context menu appears. From the context menu, click View Regress Queries. Step 7. The right pane displays the top 25 regress queries during the last hour for the selected database. Click the metric drop-down list. On the list, click Duration MS. Note, the regress queries build operates with a set of execution metrics such as CPU time, duration, execution count, and logical reads. Step 8. Click the Statistics drop-down list. Click Total. Note, there are different statistics functions such as average, maximum, and minimum to express the execution metric. Step 9. Click the Query ID drop-down list from the list. Query ID. Click Query ID. Step 10. At the top right corner of the Regress Queries pane, top right regress, click the Portrait View drop-down list. From the list, click Configure. Where is Configure? Configure. The list, click Configure. Step 11. Configure Regress Queries dialog box appears. In Time Interval section, click the Reset drop-down list. From the list, click Last 5 minutes. Step 12. In Y-axis column chart, click the drop-down list. Y-axis. Then and click Additional Duration Workload. Step 13. To save the changes and close the dialog box, click Apply. Then click OK. Step 14. To create a new query from the query ribbon, click New Query. A new query. And type the following query in the new query pane. Copy it. Paste it here. minimize it first. Then click execute. The query runs successfully and the result set is displayed. Close the SQL query and regress queries window. Where's the regress queries? Step 15, to determine the specific nature of the database workload in the Object Explorer under Query Store. Close it first. Now under Query Store, right click, tap Resource Queries. A context menu appears. From the context menu, click View, tap Resource Consuming Queries. Step 16, the right pane shows the top 25 resource consumers during the last hour for the selected database. The plan summary for the query is displayed. Step 7, to analyze the overall resource consumption of the database under Query Store, right click Overall Resource Consumption. A context menu appears. From the menu, click View Overall Resource Consumption. Step 8, the right pane shows the overall resources consumption during the last month for the selected database. Click Standard Grid to view the query performance related details. Step 19, scroll the overall resource consumption pane horizontally from left to right to view more details. Close the overall resource consumption pane. Close all the active pane windows. Next. Task Exercise 3, working with extended events. Extended events help to understand the innermost operations of the database engine. It is a monitoring system that helps to analyze, create, modify, and view session data. In this exercise, you will learn to work with extended events in SQL Server Management Studio. Please read Task 1. Capture the actual execution plan using the extended events. In this task, you will first start the SQL Server Agent service on FlashSQL 1. You will create a new event session under extended events. You will capture the events from the event library. You will then configure the events to collect additional fields and specify the filters. You will watch the live data and view the query execution plan from the extended event. Step 1. In the Object Explorer window, right-click SQL Server Agent. From the context menu, click Start. To confirm the start of SQL Server Agent service on FlashSQL, click Yes in Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio message box. Step 3. Please wait while the SQL Server Agent service is started. In the Object Explorer, click to expand management. Expand management. Then click Extended Events. To create a new query from the query ribbon, click New Query, then type the following query in the New Query pane. Just copy it and paste it here. This query creates a new event session plan named Capture Execution Plan. Step 5. To execute the query, click Execute or press F5. The query runs successfully and the result set is displayed. Step 6. In the Object Explorer, click the refresh icon to refresh the extended events node. Click to expand extended event sessions. Then sessions. Then right-click Capture Execution Plan. From the context menu, click Start Session. Step 7. The Capture Execution Plan is started. Right-click Capture Execution Plan. From the context menu, click Properties. Step 8. Please wait while the database loads the extended events information. The session properties dialog box appears. In the left pane, under select a page, click events. Step 9. To search for events in the right pane, in the event library box, type show. The required events are listed. Step 10. To select the events that need to be captured from the event library, click Query Post Compilation Show Plan. Okay. Click the right arrow button to move the event to the list of selected events. Okay. The move event appears in the selected events box. To configure the events to collect additional fields and specify filters, click Configure. Step 11. Under selected events, click to place a tick mark against Query Post Compilation Show Plan. Step 12. Under selected events, click to place a tick mark against Query Post Execution Plan, then click OK. Step 13. In the Object Explorer, click AdventureWorks DW 2016 CTP3. To create a new query from the query ribbon, click New Query. Then type the following query in the New Query pane. Copy and paste it. This query creates an inner join on them employee table. To run the query, click Execute or press F5. The query runs successfully and the result set is displayed. Step 14. In the Object Explorer, right-click Capture Execution Plan. Object Explorer, where are you? Note, the red mark on the Capture Execution Plan icon is not there as you have started the event session. From the context menu, click Watch Live Data. Step 15. In the Live Data pane, click Query Pre-Execution Plan. Note, the database engine displays live data as the retrieval process goes on continuously. No, man. Click the Query Plan tab. Don't know what happened. View more details in the Query Plan tab. Scroll the pane horizontally from the left to right. Sorry for that, sir. I don't know what happened. Next. Summary. I covered the following activities in this module: working with SQL Server Profiler, working with Query Store, working with extended events. That's all. Thank you.